Alright, so here we go. My name again is Dave. This is my cave. I thought I'd come to you and give you a little update of what I've been doing the last few weeks. The last 5.5 weeks, actually. I have been in a little town about 20 minutes from my town, and I've been doing student teaching. It's been really awesome. I've been enjoying this school so much. I've been enjoying the fourth graders. It's all been about science and learning and just teaching, learning about classroom management, learning about all of these things. I'm loving it. I just wanted to share real briefly, kind of get like a review of just what I've been doing as far as lessons go the last few weeks. Again, the first week was already kind of just, observing and getting used to the class and getting to know them. And we talked about soil and rocks and different kinds of rocks and how they're formed. So that was pretty much week one. Week two, I just basically I took over from there, just as far as creating the lessons from the weekly readers, going at it and actually just teaching, learning about the kids, learning about what they needed as far as their lessons go for fourth grade. We talked about weather and climate. We talked about the differences between weather and climate. We played a great game of Jeopardy as one of the activities we did. This was one of the slides that I had, just showing clouds and stuff. We talked about different things that the meteorologists will use when they're standing in front of a board like this. Usually it's a green screen, talking about weather and all that stuff. Then I talked about, where is my, here. I did want to bring this up too. I talked about lightning, and this is a PowerPoint put together by one of my classmates. It's always good to share, teachers should share with each other, so it would be beneficial to the community of teachers that we are in as we're trying to help kids grow, and that's the goal here, is to help them to learn and to help them get excited about learning. That's why we did this activity with lightning, and I showed them all these slides with thunder and lightning. Well, you can't see thunder, but listening to it, we played slideshows and stuff. We listened to whale music to kind of get an idea, just listening to things, sounds, including thunder and lightning. We had them get a fluorescent light bulb and some balloons and create static electricity and light up the fluorescent light bulb using the static electricity. That was pretty cool. So that was all of that that we did. And of course, it's also great when you have a smart board to use as well. The next week after we did weather and climate was over, we talked about planets and the solar system. We covered all the different planets, even covered kind of Pluto. We watched a little video about the scale model of the universe, how to make that if you're out in the desert, and also about how far away the planets are and what kind of planets they are. The week began with a fun reader's theater that we got to do, which was a lot of fun. The kids really enjoyed the reader's theater, just pretending they were each planet and talking about their different characteristics, what they were like. That was really fun. They really enjoyed that. And of course we also had a slideshow to talk about the different parts of the universe, gravity, the Earth's tilt, and how everything went together. The next thing, let's see, no. And I also talked about the moon. For the fun activity with the moon, we did a crater activity. I bought Play-Doh, had them all give a little tub of Play-Doh, some marbles and other things that they could make little craters with, so that was a lot of fun. They did that. And so we talked about the moon a little bit. I love this slideshow that I put together for my science methods class last summer, actually. It's cool. Then we had the next one, which was a fun week. We talked about organisms, and we talked about plant and animal cells. Actually ended up having a little thing in the newspaper that printed out about our giant bubbles. Mr. Helling, my master teacher, awesome guy, been teaching me all sorts of great stuff. The teacher is amazing. One thing he's done, is he can take a bunch of plastic, like painter's tarp kind of things, with duct tape and a box fan, put all that together and create these huge bubbles just full of air. You can walk in there. And what we did with another one of the parent volunteers helping, created little organelles that, like the nucleus and all the different cell membrane, all the things that are inside a plant and animal cell, chloroplasts in the plant cell. It was awesome. It So the kids could crawl in there and walk around and explore what an animal and plant cell was like. It was really cool. Anyways, this was my slideshow. I had created just to kind of show them different slides, different images of what the insides of the plant and animal cell were. We also played a really fun YouTube video, Cell Rap, which was a good song to kind of help them remember different parts of the cells. And the kids got to go through them and walk around. It was a lot of fun. And I hope they definitely learned and remembered stuff from that. The last week, which was last week, that I taught lessons were through Heredity and Diversity, which is sort of spun off some. This activity is actually called the Monster Traits activity, where you take a coin, flip heads or tails, and you choose what kind of traits that monster inherited from its parents to talk about characteristics that we inherit from each other. So that's kind of cool, I thought. Anyhow, there's that. And another thing that I've been doing at the high school has been helping occasionally with Mr. Helling's Bible class. And one thing that we did there was talked about the apostles. This is a great book, 12 Ordinary Men by John MacArthur. I highly recommend it for a study on the apostles. This is a study on the Gospel of Mark. I did parables, talked about parables. Now we're into the Gospel of Mark, talking about that. So I'm kind of just getting ready to review all of that for tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to go over all of that. And basically that, in a nutshell, is everything I've done in the last 6 weeks. This week, talking about animals. I've been teaching mostly, I've just been observing here and a couple other classes, and mostly in this class with fourth graders, thoroughly enjoying and talking about animals and learning about different things with the earth. And it's really cool because I've gotten so much out of this just as far as learning classroom management skills, learning good teaching skills, how to put a good PowerPoint presentation together, a good slideshow together, and all of those things that you can do. And to wrap this up real quick, I've gotten a lot out of this, the different messages that the kids can learn from this. Like, you start with dirt and plants and nutrition and how important it is for us to be healthy, like plants to grow and healthy, be like that. And also with the weather and the climate and mostly the planets, the solar system, how Earth itself had to be created, and it had to be. It's 1 in a trillion chance that a planet could be right where it is for us to sustain life. It's pretty cool. And then the cells, the breakdown of who we are, the building blocks of who we are. There's no one that has the same DNA as us. We're unique, and that's important for the kids to know, that they are unique individuals and that they're capable of reaching for the stars, like I talked about in the moon and the planets and stuff, reaching for the stars, exploring their opportunities. And glad to have this nice little badge, which reminds me that I'm a student at my university, and I wear this proudly to, of course, promote that I'm a student teacher working as, getting my degree in May to become a teacher. And also, it's so important that when you put on this badge, or even any time, you represent the name on the badge that the university you came from as a student teacher. It's like when you enter a school, a campus, you represent that campus too. You represent something higher than where you came from. There's a lot of important lessons, and I'm working on making my tips for new teachers to run through and different class rules and things to follow. But there's one thing that's really stuck out with me is that never think that you're the most important person in the room. Jesus didn't do that. He didn't go into a room and lord over it. He could have, he's God. But he didn't do that. He went in and served. A lot of times he would wash feet or hang out with the people that nobody else wanted to hang out with. That's how we should be. And teaching that lesson to our kids as well as we go in. Obviously, if it's in a school where they're not going to talk too much about Jesus, just be godly, be Jesus to people. You just have to show them that love that comes from God alone. So that's enough for this video. I hope you enjoyed a little sum of my last 6 weeks here, and God bless.